Have you ever wondered how music throughout the ages has connected with individuals, inspired change, and created the soundtracks to social movements? Beethoven's Symphony 9, Franz Schubert's And Die Music, and Ethel Smith's The March of Women, all pieces found in our collection, connect together throughout history despite their time periods and purposes. We explore how each of these composed pieces were able to spark a movement and pushed the boundaries of what was possible at the time. Each of the three pieces contain an important message to their audience and have left a lasting impact. Before social media, letters were a direct form of communication, speaking right to the heart of the receiver, in the same way that these pieces spoke to the heart of the listener. To take us to that time, we interpret Beethoven's Symphony 9, Franz Schubert's And Die Music, and Ethel Smith's The March of Women through these three letters. Each chapter starts with one of these letters and reveals how music was able to create an environment in which stories could be told.
There's a really nice sort of interactive element that you can sometimes see on manuscripts. So for example, with the Beethoven page we had open, there's just a little quirky doodle, a face on the page, and that's not something you get in a kind of printed score of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. It's a trace of human interaction with the music.
The manuscript, it's being the point of connection with the past, but as Frankie was saying, it's also revealing lots of other things. The more closely you look, you see other people that have been involved, other people behind the scenes perhaps. So there were so many other people that went into making that piece of music happen. The copyists that made the parts for the instrumental players to play from, the musicians that literally brought it a lot to life. It's the power of being able to bring lots of people back to life.
Dear Beethoven, in your Ode to Joy, you brought people together during times of struggle and division. Your music gave hope and strength to those fighting for freedom. You showed the world that joy is more than just a feeling. It can inspire change and uplift entire nations. Sincerely, a listener.
Imagine directing an orchestra you can't hear, or playing a soundless piano for a full audience. Beethoven's deafness didn't stop him from creating musical masterpieces. Produced in 1824, Symphony No. 9 was seen as a masterpiece by Beethoven in the history of classical music. The symphony's message spoke to an idealistic future of world peace and set the standard for future composers. On the whole, the audience's reaction was ecstatic, but not everyone was a fan. Beethoven was a compositional rebel, rejecting standard classical practices in order to write with emotion. While many of his contemporaries were disgusted, if not intimidated by this, his influence on composers came after. Critics were skeptical, yet going forward, music was changed forever.
Dear Schubert, in your time you were a refuge, filling saloons and coffee houses with your melodies. You gave other musicians an escape, a chance to gather, dream and connect beyond the stresses of daily life. You help people find peace and inspiration, and you still offer that escape today. Yours truly, an artist fighting for freedom.
In the late 1700s, the divide between the social elite and the artistic circles was stark, yet fascinating. Imagine an evening where the wealthy elites gather at their exclusive clubs and revel in their status. Meanwhile, down the street, artists and thinkers bring music to life in a coffee house. These cafe salons became a refuge from the rigid structure of society where creativity flourished and music became a way to escape the pressures of the elite world. In these moments, artists found freedom and a new spirit of independence and inspiration was born.
Dear Ethel, your music gave me a powerful voice in the fight for women's rights. Through your music, you have reminded me and the world that freedom must be fought for, and that every movement towards it brings us closer to justice. With gratitude, a woman who has had enough.
If you were fighting for social change, what would be your anthem? Written by Ethel Smith, the March of the Women became the anthem of the Women's Social and Political Union as they campaigned for women to vote. Imprisoned for their protest, women courageously sang this song together when on hunger strike as they marched around the Holloway prison courtyard. It was used to encourage each other and keep going through this difficult time. Dear audience, we hope you enjoyed the music journey. Beethoven brings joy and the pursuit of freedom to the world. Did you see the hope in life and feel energized to fight against the difficulties? When you want to escape from the stressful and dull daily life, listen to Schubert. Let the music surround you and build a dream shelter for you. And when you want to fight for your faiths, beliefs, and rights, listen to Ethel Smith. Get ready to change the world by your power. Even nowadays, music plays an important role in inspiring people. What would your letter be?